Most people measure progress by the number printed on their paycheck. And when that number rises, even slightly, it feels like forward motion. A promotion adds 10%, an annual adjustment adds 5%, and psychologically it registers as growth. Yet months later, something feels unchanged. The bank balance does not expand the way it once did, savings goals move slowly, and everyday expenses seem to consume more than expected. The confusion is not emotional weakness. It is a structural misunderstanding of how inflation quietly reshapes purchasing power beneath the surface of nominal income. Inflation is not simply prices going up. It is the gradual erosion of what each unit of currency can command in goods, services, and time. When your salary increases by 5%, but the cost of housing, food, transportation, and utilities rises by 6 or 7%, your real income has effectively declined. The raise exists in nominal terms, but in real terms it is smaller than it appears. The brain, however, anchors to visible numbers rather than invisible purchasing power, so the mind celebrates growth while the system quietly compresses margins. To understand this clearly, consider a simplified example. Imagine an annual salary of 100 units. A 5% raise brings it to 105. If annual living costs were 80 units and inflation pushes them to 86, the leftover margin shrinks from 20 to 19. On paper, income increased, yet financial flexibility declined. The math is subtle but cumulative. Over several years, small mismatches between wage growth and price growth compound into noticeable stagnation. What feels like standing still is often slow regression masked by higher digits. Psychologically, inflation also interacts with lifestyle adaptation. When income rises, expectations rise with it. Housing upgrades slightly, subscriptions accumulate, convenience spending becomes normalized. This is not reckless behavior. It is human calibration. The reference point shifts upward, and what once felt optional becomes baseline. If inflation simultaneously raises core expenses, the combination of rising expectations and rising prices creates a compression effect. You earn more, spend more, and feel no further ahead. Historically, periods of elevated inflation have amplified this illusion. In the 1970s, many workers experienced wage increases that looked impressive in nominal terms. Yet real purchasing power often stagnated because price growth outpaced income. The lesson is not that raises are meaningless, but that growth must be evaluated in real, not nominal terms. Real growth requires income to rise faster than both inflation and lifestyle expansion. The systemic layer adds another dimension. Inflation does not affect all categories equally. Asset prices such as housing or equities may rise faster than consumer goods, which means individuals without assets experience inflation, primarily as higher costs, while asset holders experience it partially as appreciation. This divergence gradually widens wealth gaps even when everyone receives similar percentage raises. The salary system operates on linear increments, while asset systems often compound. The identity shift begins when income is measured against purchasing power rather than absolute numbers. Instead of asking, "Did my salary increase?" the more revealing question becomes, "Did my real margin expand?" Tracking expenses in percentage terms, monitoring inflation trends, and separating lifestyle upgrades from structural needs reframes financial awareness. This does not require predicting macroeconomic cycles. It requires understanding the mechanics that convert nominal growth into real stability. In the end, the inflation illusion is not a dramatic event, but a slow recalibration of value. When numbers rise but capacity does not, the issue is rarely effort alone. It is arithmetic interacting with psychology. Recognizing this transforms a vague sense of stagnation into a measurable system. And once the system is visible, decisions can be evaluated not by how large they appear, but by whether they truly expand real purchasing power over time.